Hello everyone, and thank you for tuning in to episode 3 of my Unreal Engine Devlog. So, there's been a few things that have happened since the last episode. Firstly, a lot of the major bugs and issues with the enemy AI have now been fixed, which I will go over a little bit later in the video. Um, but first off, I just want to talk about how some of my friends have been following along in the development of this game and have decided to join me in their spare time and development. So we've been working on getting GitHub set up, and that's taken up a lot of my time these last couple of weeks. But it's all set up now, and we're ready to start collaborating on something amazing. So. So the first thing I want to show you is I've mentioned in previous videos about how I want to set up a level design, and I was thinking like the combat's great and everything is at a good point now, but there needs to be some minor obstacles in the way of point A and point B. So I've been coming up with some very simple puzzles because I don't want the game to become a puzzle game, but I want something on the lines of like Resident Evil 4's puzzles and Dead Space's puzzles. So first we've got this like locked door, and it'll have a switch assigned to it, and you just shoot that and that'll open the door. So that's very simple stuff, and we can move the switch into more hidden locations and stuff. And then the other type of door I've got is one that requires this power generator. So right now it's locked, can't go in. I pick it up, put it in, and then it'll power the door, let me in. So I was thinking, there are quite a few examples of how this sort of puzzle is utilized in Dead Space, where you've kind of got to manage where you're putting these power cells, and there might be multiple doors that requires one power cell between them, and figuring out how to get through both of them, things like that. And I was also looking at Batman once again for more inspiration, because the combat is already quite heavily inspired by the Batman Arkham games and Insomniac Spider-Man games. But in Batman, you can activate detective vision to sort of highlight these sorts of things to help guide you. And I wanted something similar because I thought it made sense for this kind of character, for him to like sort of scan his environment and to see enemies and interactable objects. So I came up with this. So the player can click in the right thumbstick and activate this sort of vision mode, and this will highlight any sort of interactable objects in the world, like this switch and the doors, the power generator, and boxes that can be picked up and thrown. I still need to make sure that everything is highlighted. All it needs is a tag on the blueprint that tells it it's a highlightable object. And it can also highlight enemies too, so I can see that there's 3 enemies here on the other side of this wall. So it'll let me approach combat in a more strategic and plannable way. So next I'll just move on to the enemies. I've created 2 extra enemy types. So we've got the normal one that just shoots at you, and the and you'll see. I'll show you. I'll stop yapping. Okay, so yeah, like I was saying, I've come up with 2 extra enemy types. This one that you've seen before that just shoots the player, and that other one that preps a grenade that can be shot or grabbed with telekinesis out of his hand and thrown back, as you can see there. And then the third one is this guy who has a shield. That shield will repel projectiles until perfect blocked. So if you manage to get a perfect block on his attack, he will lower his shield, and that's your opening. So I have some slightly older footage here, just to show off the combo finisher. So you can see in the left, every time I dodge or I shoot an enemy, it raises my combo count. And if I get it to 5, you can see the Y and B graphic above the enemy's heads, and if I press that, it'll fire off this homing projectile, which is heavily inspired by the whistling birds from The Mandalorian. Okay, so just one more thing to go over. Um, Me and my friend, we had this idea that we think would be so cool if enemies were able to use smoke to try and block the player's vision, and we can use this vision here to sort of see through the smoke and see the enemies, just to utilize that sort of mechanic in combat as well and shake things up a little bit. So Unreal has a Niagara fluid system, and we were thinking we wanted the smoke to feel like it was being impacted by the player's shots and by everything thrown through it. So my friend's been working on a fluid system, and we've got this pipe here. So if we shoot it, it'll shoot out this big burst of smoke. And if I shoot through it, it's kind of hard to tell right now, but if I shoot through the smoke, you can see it blasts away and it's interacted by the gun. But if I go into this mode, it's not rendered at all, and we can see the enemies through. So I think that'll be something that'll really help set moods in like dark alleyways where it can be like really misty, or if you walk into a room and there's a bunch of soldiers that have laid down smoke bombs for you because they know you're coming, but you can outplay them by just switching into this vision, and you can see them perfectly. And I think the seeing the lasers sort of like shine through the smoke and like light it up in this like nice red color, I think will be a really nice visual. I added a slight upgrade to the crosshair, so now it's a little bit less chunky. You can see through it a little bit more clearly. I'll just quickly show you. So if I shoot an enemy, it will expand the cross in the middle. So that's sort of how the hit marker works. And if I shoot an enemy in the head, oops, it'll expand and turn red as well. So it acts as like a nice crosshair and also a hit marker as well. So yeah, I'm pretty sure that's everything. Thanks very much for watching. If you want to keep up to date with everything that's going on in this project, please follow my TikTok. I post little funny Unreal memes and like more bite-sized sort of updates on there, so you can keep up to date with everything that's going on. So I'll put a link to that in the description. Also, make sure you subscribe to this channel so you don't miss out on any future episodes of this devlog. Thanks very much for watching, and I hope to see you next time.